Mexico, and welcome to my white wine talk, where I just yap on the internet and overshare. If you don't know me, I am pursuing my dream of being a full-time artist, and Coco Mexico is a stage name so that I feel more confident to talk to you all on the internet. So, I'm actually shamelessly promoting one of my designs. I created this dress for a Hozier concert that I'm gonna go to very soon, and I'm super excited. I hand painted these bluebirds for the song No Plan, which is one of my favorites by him. I crocheted this design and it'll be available on my Depop if you are interested in having one of these dresses as well. Today I wanted to talk about the latest art installation that I did because I realized that I really haven't showcased my art on this page that much. I made a series called Deliver Us. It had to do with the Christian church Deliver Us from Evil. One of the pieces in the collection is called From Evil. Warning. These are all self-portraits. I'm a Mexican-American artist, a first-generation American. Frida Kahlo is one of my biggest inspirations. She really moved me with one of her pieces. I'm gonna put the name here so I don't get it wrong. I went to the MoMA a few years ago. This was right after I broke up with my long-term boyfriend. I didn't break up with him, he broke up with me. This is right after he broke up with me. I had went to New York to see Harry Styles, and we went to the MoMA, took a gummy. It's legal there. So anyways, had a very interesting experience at the MoMA. I got lost several times trying to find my friends, but this painting by Frida Kahlo really made an impact on me because it was one that I'd never seen before. Her hair being chopped off, scattered all over the floor, and such a very daring self-portrait, especially at the time with her in her men's clothing, was very formative for me. After that, I ended up getting back together with that man. Very horrible human being. I hate him, and if you're watching, I hate you and I will always hate you. He would always make comments about self-portraits, and he would make fun of the fact that I would do them because of how self-centered I was. And so now I'm owning it, and I have a whole entire series of self-portraits from this little man that I hate, and I'm so glad that I no longer speak to. I guess it was like a subliminal, like he told me like, who would want to buy those self-portraits of you? And art isn't about making things that people will buy. Art is about a form of expression. Well, I do, because they chronicle who I was this past year, 23. I'm gonna pull out each paintings from that series and I'll talk about them. We're gonna start off with the first one that I made. This portrait was meant to showcase how happy I was because I was so lost when he had broken up with me. I had made it my identity to fix him. And just so you know, you don't need to fix a partner. No, your partner is not supposed to challenge you, in my opinion. Not in a way where they're challenging your values and opinions. One of the things that I had always wanted to do was chop off my hair. That was kind of tough, especially because when you try and do queer hairstyle, a lot of hairdressers won't do them because they think that you'll regret the decisions that you made. And so this was the shortest that my hairdresser would allow me to cut my hair. I felt like I was radiating my color. And when I was growing up, everyone would say it was yellow, that was my color. And yeah, I just felt so yellow. It just felt like I was transcending the things that were holding me back in the past. My shirt, it says no grave because that Hozier song, no grave can hold my body down, I'll crawl home to her. It wasn't in a romantic way, I meant it in a self-love way. So long ago, I had buried what I had wanted to make other people happy, and then I realized that there was no amount of people shaming me for who I was that was gonna change who I am, and that I loved myself for that. No grave can hold my body down. I'll always crawl back to who I am. I have a Spotify for Coco Mexico, and you can look at each of these pieces and they have a playlist associated with each one if you want to hear what the painting sounds like. I have not had one sip of wine. I know I overshare on the internet, but like, oh man. My second piece, isn't it just like really weird that I have like pictures of myself? Like this is my second piece. So this is called From Evil, Deliver Us from Evil. On the bottom, I have a sacred heart. Everybody's capable of being good. This piece was meant to symbolize I'm at my throat, and I just wanted to rip my skin off. I wanted to rip my skin off and become a new entity. Like, I didn't want to deal with the life that I was living anymore, and I've kind of chronicled my hate relationship with my previous jobs. At the time that I painted this, I wasn't in a position mentally to not care what anybody thought of me, because at the time I cared so deeply about what other people thought of me. After this self-love actualization and then Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you have your basic needs met, and then you start to worry about like your emotional needs. Next was to get out of the situation that I was living in. I think this was next in the series. This piece is, you know, coming to terms with the abusive boyfriend I was talking about a little bit. This piece is modeled after or inspired by the yellow wallpaper, the book. I'm trying to think of like a funny anecdote to share about this man. One time, this man and I, we went to dinner, and we went to a nice restaurant. Keep in mind, he stated he was not hungry. And I order food. Literally grabs it after the server put it in front of me, because it was my pasta, and starts eating. Oh, that is such a microaggression. I was literally about to pass out from how hungry I was. And this man takes my food. I don't know what I would have, like, I can't imagine my current boyfriend doing that to me. He would never do that to me. Like, it would probably be me that did that to him. I can't imagine him doing that to me, ever. Now, I probably would have just, like, let him take the plate and order myself a new one and then break up with him immediately after that. Because that is so disrespectful. But no. And then this man storms off. He storms off. Just starts walking. Because he's so upset that I took my food back. And so I'm flabbergasted. I have no self-respect, and I continued to date him after that. But it did make me feel crazy like this, because I was like, what? Maybe I should have just let him eat my food. Girl, no. You have issues. This piece, it shares a lot of elements from the previous drawings. It has the same wallpaper as from the yellow wallpaper. It also features a sacred heart, but in this one, the sacred heart is broken. And I had to get really creative with my reference photos. Insert reference photo on this, because I had to use jelly to show the blood. So this piece is basically a commentary on, self-loathing, honestly. Basically, this is talking about how you don't leave trauma unscathed. There's blood on my hands too. There are behaviors that I've had in the past that reflect poorly on me, and while I might have learned them from other places, that doesn't make that right. I am fully responsible for my actions. I'm gonna have to insert my final piece that I made. So here's my final piece that I made. It has to do with my car. Because I always wanted to have a Miata. I've since sold Miata now. May she rest in peace. She was beautiful, and I love her, and I miss her every day. Honestly, album of the week is still Found Heaven by Conan, and every single time I listen to that album, I think about how awesome it would have sounded in my Miata. Gosh, I love listening to 80s music in sports cars, just driving safely, of course, down windy roads, pulling through the curves. I had already sold the car when I made this piece. Kind of retrospectively looking at my decision to buy my dream car and deciding, wow, I should be sure in my decisions. Because when I bought the car, I knew I wasn't gonna have it for a long time, but I knew that if I didn't buy the car, that I would always regret not having the car. And so what I would say to all of you is that you know what's right for your life above everyone else. Everyone else is just noise. It's not their life to live, it's your life to live. So you know who you are, and you should trust who you are. You should trust what your wants are. Obviously, you should probably be responsible about what your wants are and look at your financial situation, but in general, I think everybody knows who they want to be, and if they stop listening to the world around them, they would get a lot further. As I say, I will have this dress available for order on Depop. I have a postcard club that you can join if you would love to see more of my art. It's not gonna have my face on it because I have grown tired of looking at my face. Until my next existential crisis, I probably won't do any self-portraits for a really long time. Hopefully, trust your intuition. I believe in you so much.